Now, on Monday, Toronto City Council is expected to hold an unprecedented meeting. The goal to severely cut Mayor Ford's budget and therefore powers as well, essentially leaving Ford a mayor in name only. For more on all of this, I'm joined by Toronto City Councillor John Fillion from upstate New York via Skype. So thank you, sir, for joining me on this today. Now, you were the architect of the motion tomorrow, so tell us a bit more about what you're hoping to achieve here.
Well, what we're hoping to do is, with council's backing, of course, is to reduce the powers of the mayor that we have the authority to reduce.
All right, so talk to me a little bit about what that is, because getting into the details of it, we're talking about budget, how many staff he can employ. Will he, in effect, just have the same powers as any other city councillor?
More or less, he would still have some statutory powers conferred on him by provincial legislation, but basically he would retain, keep the title of mayor, but his powers would be much closer to those of city councillor.
And if his budget is severely reduced, as the motion is proposing, then what happens to those staff members and the power as well that you're stripping from the mayor? Does it then, in fact, all go to the current deputy mayor?
The staff go to the clerk's office to be administered by the deputy mayor, and likewise the mayor's budget in excess of which a normal councillor would have, or which he may need to carry on his statutory duties.
Well, I want to ask you about staff as well, because we are hearing unconfirmed reports that Mayor Ford gave his staff members $5,000 raises at the end of the week. Have you heard are you able to confirm that? And if so, what does that mean?
No, I'm not. I have no idea whether it's true or not. If it is true, I'd like to know what the rationale would be for giving an across-the-board increase to all staff of exactly the same amount, and I would also wonder about the timing of it.
Now, Mayor Ford, as you know, also says he is prepared to go to court over these motions to strip him of his powers. Yesterday, we spoke here at CBC News Network to one of his lawyers, municipal law expert George Rusday. Now, here's what he had to say. Take a listen.
They're administrative and legislative acts of City Council if they're done, and what can be done by City Council can be undone by the courts on an application to quash or an application for judicial review. As I say, I don't know of anything that would happen arising out of these motions that would in any way detract from or weaken the powers of the court to address whether the council had the power to do it.
So, John Fillion, over to you then. Have you had legal advice about your motion, and do you agree with that assessment?
Well, I mean, yes, I've had legal advice, and I mean, his assessment is just that the courts have the power to examine an action taken by council, which I wouldn't disagree with, but the likelihood of success would be an entirely different matter.
He also talked about a possible injunction to prevent this motion from coming forward in the first place. Are you concerned about that?
Well, I don't know any details on that. I'm concerned about it only in the sense that I think the mayor should be listening to what council has to say, not trying to take court action to prevent council from meeting and making decisions. It's hard for me to imagine that a court action to try to stop a council meeting could be successful, but I can't prejudge what his lawyer might do or what a court could decide.
So if it does go to court, how worried are you about how it might impact the ability of City Hall to simply get down to business? So many Torontonians say, we just want you to move on, and I know that's what many people on council are saying. And also, Mayor Ford has warned that this could be very costly as well.
Well, I mean, we are moving on. That's why we're meeting tomorrow. We're taking all the measures we can so that we can move on. And if it costs any money, it would be Mayor Ford who's causing it to cost money. We have an elected council. Council as a whole has a lot of power, more power than the mayor when we speak as a body. And so it's unwise, to say the least, of the mayor to try to thwart the wishes of the elected council.
So, assuming, let's put the legal threats aside for a moment, assuming your motions do go forward tomorrow. We know certainly last week's measures were practically unanimous on City Council. What will Mayor Rob Ford have left in his title as mayor? What will he still be able to do?
Well, mostly things that are somewhat symbolic, like ironically, attending the Santa Claus parade on behalf of the city, that type of thing. The types of activities which people have said, thanks very much, please don't come, he would still have the legal authority to show up as mayor at those. I would assume he wouldn't. But there's a whole lot of unofficial powers which would flow to the deputy mayor, and powers which aren't necessarily written anywhere. Some are and some aren't. But to give a good example, the senior administration of the city, the heads of the different departments, meet with the mayor on a regular basis to sort of plan out the agenda of the city moving forward. Those people would meet instead with the deputy mayor if the motion tomorrow carries.
All right. Toronto City Councillor John Fillion, I appreciate your time today. We will certainly be watching as your motion is presented at City Hall tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.